I never thought I'd see him again. The man who had shattered my life, the one my wife chose over me, was standing at my doorstep, casual, smiling, completely oblivious to the chaos he had caused. Months earlier, I had discovered Sarah's affair. The late-night messages, the whispered phone calls, the unexplained absences, all signs I tried to ignore until the truth hit me like a punch in the chest. My world crumbled, and for a while, I didn't know who I was anymore. But I survived. I rebuilt. I moved on. I focused on my work, my friends, and most importantly, myself. I refused to let betrayal define my life. And now he was here. Mark, the man who had stepped into my life like a thief, standing at my door with a casual, "Hey, can we talk?" I froze for a moment, anger and disbelief colliding in my chest. "What are you doing here?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. I wanted to clear the air," he said, glancing around at my home as if he belonged there. "Sarah, she said some things about you, about us, and I thought maybe we should talk man to man." A laugh, bitter and low, escaped me. "Talk man to man? You think you can just waltz into my life after everything you took and have a conversation?" He shrugged. "I didn't force anything. She made her choice." "She made her choice?" I echoed, my voice rising. "Do you even understand what you did? The life you stepped into, the trust you destroyed." Mark's eyes flickered, a hint of unease crossing his otherwise confident expression. "Look, I know it didn't end well, and I don't want to fight. I just thought maybe we could resolve things, move forward without animosity." I shook my head slowly, realizing the truth. This wasn't about resolution. It was about him trying to erase his own guilt while expecting me to accept it. But I wasn't the same man who had been blindsided by betrayal months ago. I had grown stronger. I had learned to value myself beyond anyone else's mistakes. "You know what?" I said quietly, deliberately. "I don't need closure from you. I don't need your apologies. I don't even need Sarah anymore." Mark blinked, confusion, and a touch of fear flashing across his face. "I rebuilt my life," I continued, voice steady, full of conviction. "I survived heartbreak, humiliation, and betrayal. And I've come to understand something important. My happiness isn't dependent on the choices of people who don't value me." He opened his mouth, proud to argue, but I cut him off. "Leave. Don't come back. Not because I'm angry, because I've moved on. You'll never control my life again. You'll never define my worth again." For a moment, the room was heavy with silence. Then, slowly, he nodded, perhaps realizing he had overstepped. He turned, leaving as silently as he had arrived. I closed the door and leaned against it, letting out a long, shuddering breath. The anger, the pain, the resentment, it was all still there, but it was tempered by something far stronger: empowerment. I had faced a person who had hurt me most indirectly, and I didn't crumble. I didn't beg. I stood tall. That night, I sat in my living room, reflecting on everything that had happened. Sarah's betrayal had been devastating, but it had forced me to confront the truth about myself, about my boundaries, and about the kind of life I wanted to lead. I realized that sometimes the people who hurt us teach the most valuable lessons. They teach us where to draw the line, how to stand up for ourselves, and how to rebuild life stronger than before. By the time I went to bed, a sense of peace had settled over me. I had faced a man my wife had chosen over me and had emerged unshaken. I had reclaimed my life. I had reclaimed my dignity. And I knew one thing for certain. I would never let anyone, no matter how close or charming, take my worth again. The next morning, I stepped outside, feeling the sunlight on my face. Life was still messy, still imperfect, but it was mine. And for the first time in months, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time: freedom. Sometimes betrayal isn't the end. Sometimes it's the beginning of self-respect, personal growth, and a life lived on your own terms. And in that freedom, I discovered something far more powerful than anger or revenge. I discovered myself.